This week, the Torah portion opens up with a very strange statement, and it was when Pharaoh sent the Jews out of Egypt. Vayihi b'shalach parei ha'am. Why did Pharaoh need to send the Jews out of Egypt? They were slaves. They should have ran out at the very first opportunity. Indeed, it takes a moment to get the Jew out of Egypt, but it takes 40 years in the desert to get the Egypt out of the Jew. The slave mentality that the Jewish people had then, you could see today when people are willing to sacrifice national security and putting pressure on the prime minister to bring back even dead hostages, which would be on condition that we release terrorists from prisons, encouraging further acts of terrorism. The very fact that a non-Jew like Pharaoh says that the only solution is for Egypt and Jordan to take full responsibility. They're the ones that started these wars. They're the ones that caused the refugees. The Jewish refugees from all the Arab countries were absorbed in Israel with no complaints. It's absolutely on their shoulders. The fact that the non-Jew could say it clear should encourage us Jews to realize we are in Egypt, in our head, not physically, but in our minds. By not saying and by not crying out, God, the Temple Mount is meant to be a place of Jewish observance. This is not a cry for war. This is a cry for truth. The fact is that the world itself will awaken the Jew, because as in this week's Torah portion, Pharaoh sends the Jew out of Egypt. I have a dear friend who had a dream of the coming Mashiach, and he says the Jewish people were all ashamed and the non-Jews were cheering and saying this is amazing. And it took a Jew the while to realize, what does that even mean, that there's a Mashiach? That yes, we're going to the Holy Land. Yes, we're going to observe mitzvot over there in the full measure. And the excitement from the non-Jews will inspire the Jews to go out of Egypt, just like this week's Torah portion says. Shabbat Shalom.